Okay, Wimbledon semifinals 2023 men's edition. So we've got the semifinal between Djokovic and Sinner and the semifinal between Daniil and Carlos. I will start with Carlos and Daniil. I do think Carlos can take this in 4. I do think the matchup between Daniil and Carlos is just a losing one for Daniil. I think Carlos's game is just something he's not comfortable with and might not be able to handle even on grass. Carlos has shown, starting with the Queen's Championship, that his game is quite adaptable to grass, and he has definitely built confidence on the surface. So I'm going to give this to Carlos in 4. The Sinner and the Djokovic matchup is a little bit more tricky. Djokovic definitely is feeling very comfortable, very much the favorite at Wimbledon. I think he is going for the calendar slam this year, and that is really pushing him through all his matches. Sinner, on the other hand, I think is suffering from a little bit of the Casper reputation, I would call it. I don't think a lot of people have a lot of faith in him, but I am going to give this to Sinner in 5. I think based on his results last year, where he took 2 sets off Djokovic, I think he's much more of an improved player this year and might be able to take it to Djokovic. I think being the underdog in this situation for Sinner might actually help him a lot.
Hey guys, welcome from Bytom. So my prediction for the Djokovic-Sinner semi, it should be fairly obvious, right? There's a lot of linear power coming at Djokovic, just like in the Rublev matchup, and he's like the best in the whole world at handling it. I know it went to 5 sets at Wimbledon last year, but all of the sets that Djokovic won were super lopsided. He got the early break in every single one of them, and it never really felt like Sinner was that close to winning. I don't think he's clean enough at the net to win this one. And Medvedev Alcaraz, I have to go with Carlos because he just seems to have a big matchup edge. In Indian Wells, he was serve volleying out wide to practically half the time, and it was such an efficient tactic. I don't really see how Medvedev really battles it. He also moves him up and down the court the way other players cannot. So I think he's got a pretty big edge there. And of course, Medvedev is likely to snatch a set, but kind of unlikely to win. See ya.
For the first match between Djokovic and Sinner, I am going to be going for Djokovic in 5. I believe Sinner will go something like 2 sets up or 2 sets to 1 up, something similar to last year, before Djokovic rallying back near the end to take it in 5 sets. And then going over to Medvedev versus Alcaraz. I'm expecting Alcaraz to win, and I think it will probably be as well in 5 sets. I'm going for an epic day today of 5-set thrillers, and I suspect that one will be nip and tuck all the way, with Alcaraz taking it probably quite quickly at the death in the 5th set.
Okay, Wimbledon semifinals 2023 men's edition. So we've got the semifinal between Djokovic and Sinner, and the semifinal between Daniil and Carlos. I will start with Carlos and Daniil. I do think Carlos can take this in 4. I do think the matchup between Daniil and Carlos is just a losing one for Daniil. I think Carlos's game is just something he's not comfortable with and might not be able to handle even on grass. Carlos has shown, starting with the Queen's Championship, that his game is quite adaptable to grass, and he has definitely built confidence on the surface. So I'm going to give this to Carlos in 4. The Sinner and the Djokovic matchup is a little bit more tricky. Djokovic definitely is feeling very comfortable, very much the favorite at Wimbledon. I think he is going for the calendar slam this year, and that is really pushing him through all his matches. Sinner, on the other hand, I think is suffering from a little bit of the Casper reputation, I would call it. I don't think a lot of people have a lot of faith in him, but I am going to give this to Sinner in 5. I think based on his results last year, where he took 2 sets off Djokovic, I think he's much more of an improved player this year and might be able to take it to Djokovic. I think being the underdog in this situation for Sinner might actually help him a lot.
Hey guys, welcome from Bytom. So my prediction for the Djokovic-Sinner semi, it should be fairly obvious, right? There's a lot of linear power coming at Djokovic, just like in the Rublev matchup, and he's like the best in the whole world at handling it. I know it went to 5 sets at Wimbledon last year, but all of the sets that Djokovic won were super lopsided. He got the early break in every single one of them, and it never really felt like Sinner was that close to winning. I don't think he's clean enough at the net to win this one. And Medvedev Alcaraz, I have to go with Carlos because he just seems to have a big matchup edge. In Indian Wells, he was servant volleying out wide to practically half the time, and it was such an efficient tactic. I don't really see how Medvedev really battles it. He also moves him up and down the court the way other players cannot. So I think he's got a pretty big edge there. And of course, Medvedev is likely to snatch a set, but kind of unlikely to win. See ya.
For the first match between Djokovic and Sinner, I am going to be going for Djokovic in 5. I believe Sinner will go something like 2 sets up or 2 sets to 1 up, something similar to last year, before Djokovic rallying back near the end to take it in 5 sets. And then going over to Medvedev versus Alcaraz. I'm expecting Alcaraz to win, and I think it will probably be as well in 5 sets. I'm going for an epic day today of 5-set thrillers, and I suspect that one it'll be nip and tuck all the way, with Alcaraz taking it probably quite quickly at the death in the 5th set.
Thanks for tuning into this watch along. While there's a break in play, here's a reminder to hit the like button, subscribe and click that notification bell. Your support helps to keep the channel going. While we're here, you can now become a member to enjoy perks including badges for the live chat, but also bonus material such as interviews with top players from both ATP and WTA tours. The membership link is pinned in the live chat. You can also follow us on Twitter, Facebook and Instagram. So whether it be serves or volleys, forehands or backhands, serve bots or drop shots, we've got you covered. Whether that be via our website, talking-tennis.com, where you can read features and interviews from our top writers. Or if you prefer us in audio form, you can subscribe to our podcast on Apple, Amazon or Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts from. Remember, we offer you wall-to-wall coverage via our regular watch-alongs, magazine shows such as Nick's WTA Weekly or Damien and Mario's ATP version. Plus, we deliver top content from people on the ground, actually at the tournaments, so you get even nearer to the action. So, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on all things tennis. Thanks for tuning into this watch along. While there's a break in play, here's a reminder to hit the like button, subscribe and click that notification bell. Your support helps to keep the channel going. While we're here, you can now become a member to enjoy perks including badges for the live chat, but also bonus material such as interviews with top players from both ATP and WTA tours. The membership link is pinned in the live chat. You can also follow us on Twitter, Facebook and Instagram. So whether it be serves or volleys, forehands or backhands, serve bots or drop shots, we've got you covered, whether that be via our website, talking-tennis.com, where you can read features and interviews from our top writers. Or if you prefer us in audio form, you can subscribe to our podcast on Apple, Amazon or Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts from. Remember, we offer you wall-to-wall coverage via our regular watch-alongs, magazine shows such as Nick's WTA Weekly or Damien and Mario's ATP version. Plus, we deliver top content from people on the ground, actually at the tournaments, so you get even nearer to the action. So, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on all things tennis. Thanks for tuning into this watch along. While there's a break in play, here's a reminder to hit the like button, subscribe and click that notification bell. Your support helps to keep the channel going. While we're here, you can now become a member to enjoy perks including badges for the live chat, but also bonus material such as interviews with top players from both ATP and WTA tours. The membership link is pinned in the live chat. You can also follow us on Twitter, Facebook and Instagram. So whether
Ready? Play. Ready? Play.
Good afternoon, good evening, good morning. Quick turnaround, and we're off again. Second men's semi-final. Carlos Alcaraz against Daniil Medvedev. Excellent serving from Carlos Alcaraz means he has already raced into a 1-love lead. He's yet to drop a point. Interestingly, of course, that actually it's his serving that maybe Jack in particular was concerned about in terms of this match, that it might cause Carlos to drop a set or two or maybe even lose the match. But at least from his perspective, he's got off to a good start under the roof. Under the roof, of course, because it's raining in London. So both matches today under the roof. Some people have suggested that under the roof may favor Medvedev. Medvedev 46-8, Carlos Alcaraz 45-4 for the year. That's not bad, is it, for Alcaraz? Just lost 4 times this year. The only 2 players with 40-plus victories this year. Okay. Novak Djokovic, of course, winning earlier. He awaits the winner here. In the final, he won in straight sets over Jannik Sinner. Daniil Medvedev serving at 1-0. 15-love, Medvedev. Medi serving down the tee. Forehand return from Carlos. Forehand Medvedev. Backhand Carlos. Good volley there for Medvedev. Carlos going for the winner and almost pulling it off, but not quite. 30-love. Medvedev goes down the tee on the first serve, but goes long. And Carlos Alcaraz gets his first point on the Medvedev serve, so it's 30-15. Medvedev serving here at 30-15, goes down the tee, and it's an ace. And Medvedev is being pushed around, but he's won the next point too. So it's 1-game all. 1-game all. Let me know your thoughts in the live chat on this particular encounter. Who are you supporting and who do you think is going to win? Also, where are you tuning in from? 1-game all. Carlos Alcaraz serving. Comfortable service holds from both players thus far. Alcaraz now has earned the first point of this particular game, and it's now back at 15 all. Also, let me know, can either of these two players stop Novak Djokovic? And if so, which one? Which one is the more likely, would you suggest, to be able to stop Novak Djokovic? I think there's an argument for both. $15 all. Alcaraz goes out wide. It's a good serve there from Carlos Alcaraz. I know Tom will be joining us shortly. But Carlos has gone wide with a forehand there, meaning 30 all. Okay, Carlos serving here at 30 all. Where are you going with this serve, Carlitos? You are going to the forehand of Medvedev, forehand Carlos, backhand Medvedev, forehand Carlos, forehand Medvedev, backhand Carlos, backhand Medvedev, backhand slice from Carlos, backhand from Medvedev goes into the net, 40-30. Game point, Carlos Alcaraz for a 2-1 lead. Backhand slice there from Carlos. Alcaraz serving. Where are you going to go with this one? You're going to go out wide. Backhand return. Backhand slice from Carlos. Forehand from Medvedev. Backhand from Carlos. Forehand Medvedev. Backhand Carlos. Backhand Medvedev. Forehand Carlos. Good depth there from Carlos. Forehand Carlos is in charge of the point. But is that a winner from Daniil Medvedev? Indeed it is. An incredible winner. Deuce. Hi, Ashley. Hi, everyone. By the way, for those of you just tuning in, make sure you hit the like button, people. And we are so close to 2,500 subscribers. Talk to your friends, talk to your family, talk to your brothers and your cousins and even your pets and get them to subscribe. And of course, if you haven't subscribed, subscribe as well. We're at deuce here. That incredible forehand win across court there from Daniil Medvedev. Forehand return from Medi. Backhand from Carlos. Clips the net, I think, and he gets away with that one and he apologizes. Advantage Carlos Alcaraz. Also, if you want to become a member, it's pinned in the live chat. Okay, forehand from Medvedev, backhand from Carlos, backhand Medvedev, clips the net and just goes over, so we're at deuce. We're at juice, ladies and gentlemen. Although, oh. Now, Sinner, what am I talking about? Djokovic. No, not Sinner, not Djokovic. I'll get this right. Alcaraz goes down the tee. Unreturnable serve, so it's advantage. Alcaraz serving, game point. Where are you going with this one? You go to the backhand. No, it's going to be a second serve. Okay, backhand return from Medvedev goes long, and it is a hold for Alcaraz. Hi, Janie. Nice to have you on board. Ashley as well, saying go Carlos. Wonderful. Click the like button. You know the drill. Speak to you again in 60 seconds.
Thanks for tuning into this watch along. While there's a break in play, here's a reminder to hit the like button, subscribe, and click that notification bell. Your support helps to keep the channel going. While we're here, you can now become a member to enjoy perks including badges for the live chat, but also bonus material such as interviews with top players from both ATP and WTA tours. The membership link is pinned in the live chat. You can also follow us on Twitter, Facebook and Instagram. So whether it be serves or volleys, forehands or backhands, serve bots or drop shots, we've got you covered, whether that be via our website, talking-tennis.com, where you can read features and interviews from our top writers. Or if you prefer us in audio form, you can subscribe to our podcast on Apple, Amazon or Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts from. Remember, we offer you wall-to-wall coverage via our regular watch-alongs, magazine shows such as Nick's WTA Weekly or Damien and Mario's ATP version. Plus, we deliver top content from people on the ground, actually at the tournaments, so you get even nearer to the action. So, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on all things tennis.
As I've got the score there indicating, it is 2-1 to Carlos Alcaraz. Daniil Medvedev is serving. Let's see how this one pans out, ladies and gentlemen. Let me know who you're supporting in the live chat. I saw somebody saying go Carlos earlier. Ghosty was here. He's been back since picking the lady up from the airport. At least he dipped into the conversation anyway, right at the end of the previous match. Whether he'll return, you never know with the ghost. Okay, Medvedev goes on the tee. Backhand return from Carlos. Backhand from Medvedev. Good depth there from Medvedev. Backhand Medvedev. Flying through the air. Good depth over there from Carlos. Slice now from Carlos. He thought about coming into the net. Maybe he should have done. Maybe he shouldn't because he wins the point. Love 15. Love 15. What about this as well, by the way? I can do this too. Can do this. Can do all sorts. Tom is going to be here shortly, by the way. We're back at 15 all now. Okay, goes down the tee. Backhand return from Carlos is long, so it's now 30-15. 30-15, although he's gone wide with that first serve. Backhand return, backhand Carlos, backhand slice now from Carlos. Good depth there, but what a passing shot from Daniil Medvedev, 40-15. Now we're into the rally and Medvedev goes wide, so we're at 40-30. 40-30, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, now Medvedev goes under the tee, backhand, forehand return from Carlos. Forehand Carlos pushing Medvedev around the court. What a shot that is, though, from Daniil Medvedev. 2 games all. "15 minutes on the clock, 2 games all." Let me know your thoughts on this match, predictions, etc. Okay, backhand to backhand right now. Backhand Medvedev, backhand Carlos, forehand Medvedev, backhand Carlos. It's a good backhand from Carlitos. Now he's on the forehand side and he's missed. It's gone long. It's gone long, ladies and gentlemen. I'm today supporting tennis. I just want to see some good, exciting tennis. Please give it to me. Carlos, where are you going with this serve? You are going to the backhand of Medvedev. You were going to come into the net for a volley, but it wasn't necessary. Wonder if we're going to see a bit more serve and volley from Carlos. We've not seen it a lot in the first couple of games that he's had serving. At 19 years and 130 days, Carlos Alcaraz became the youngest world number 1 in history after he won the US Open last year, defeating Casper Ruud in the final. There you go. Fun facts. Tom is on his way, by the way. He'll be joining us shortly. Oh, good serve there from Carlos, but it's not enough to win the point. Return from Medvedev. Drop shot, Carlos. Wow, Carlitos with the drop shot. Wow. 30-15. Do you think Carlos looks tight, do you, Janie? Yeah, maybe. Okay, Carlos. Wow, wild with that first serve. Backhand return from Medvedev. Backhand Carlos, backhand Medvedev, forehand Carlos, forehand Medvedev, forehand Carlos. Good depth there from Carlitos. He's now got a chance to win the point, but doesn't take it. Good defense for Medi. Forehand Carlos goes wide, 30 all. Maybe suggesting he is a bit tight today, Janie, as you were saying. Okay. Carlos serving, 30 all. Where are you going with this serve? You are going to the forehand return of Medi. Forehand drop shot from Carlos, and it's too good. 40-30. Carlos Alcaraz. Alcaraz serving. Where are you going with this serve? You are going down the tee. Forehand return. Oh, lovely volley. Silky, silky, silky from Carlos Alcaraz. And we'll be back with you in 60 seconds.
Thanks for tuning into this watch along. While there's a break in play, here's a reminder to hit the like button, subscribe, and click that notification bell. Your support helps to keep the channel going. While we're here, you can now become a member to enjoy perks including badges for the live chat, but also bonus material such as interviews with top players from both ATP and WTA tours. The membership link is pinned in the live chat. You can also follow us on Twitter, Facebook and Instagram. So whether it be serves or volleys, forehands or backhands, serve bots or drop shots, we've got you covered, whether that be via our website, talking-tennis.com, where you can read features and interviews from our top writers. Or if you prefer us in audio form, you can subscribe to our podcast on Apple, Amazon or Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts from. Remember, we offer you wall-to-wall coverage via our regular watch-alongs, magazine shows such as Nick's WTA Weekly or Damien and Mario's ATP version. Plus, we deliver top content from people on the ground, actually at the tournaments, so you get even nearer to the action. So, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on all things tennis.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen, with Daniil Medvedev serving at 2-3. Who's going to be the tougher opponent for Djokovic, asked Tops. I completely agree. It's a really difficult question. Probably Alcaraz, but I listen, I think there's an argument for both. Medvedev has a decent record against Djokovic. Of course, it's a losing record. But we know that he can serve well, and Jack was talking about this earlier. You need to serve well against Novak. And actually, of the two players, you could probably rely on Medvedev serving well more than Alcaraz, that's for sure. However, there is a thing where, maybe both players, but I think Alcaraz in particular, he can live with Djokovic in long rallies. I think Medvedev can too, which is why he's had that decent record against him. But I also wonder that maybe Alcaraz is just explosiveness that he has more than probably anyone else on the tour might trouble Novak a bit more. But listen, there may be people in the live chat that think the Octopus can do better against Novak, and I'm sure there's others such as Jack highlighting the serving scenario. So it's a tough one. I think they both could be troublesome, but Novak would be a slight favorite against both. Okay, forehand now, Medvedev. Forehand, Alcaraz. Backhand, Medvedev. It's 15-all, by the way. Backhand, Medvedev. Backhand, Alcaraz. Forehand, Alcaraz. Is that going to be a winner? No, it's not, but it's forced the error. 15-30, ladies and gentlemen. 15-30. Those of you just tuning in, make sure you hit the like button. And if you're watching on YouTube, click subscribe. It's just below the screen. Last I saw, we were 12 subscribers away from 2,500. Yep, still 12. Okay, Medvedev, forehand. That's a good forehand from Medvedev. Backhand, Medvedev. Oh, they've stopped the point for some reason. Some sort of disruption, it would appear. So, 30-15, replay the point. What do you think, Tops? What do you think? Anyone else in the chat? Yep, agree. Agree. Backhand return. Backhand Medvedev. Forehand Alcaraz. Forehand Medvedev. Backhand slice from Alcaraz. Backhand from Medvedev cross court. That's a good cross court. Opening up the court for himself. Sending Alcaraz the wrong way. Has Alcaraz stayed in the point? He has. Forehand Medvedev. And Alcaraz goes big on the forehand, but it's 30-all because he puts it into the net. That was a big point. Oh, I see a ball fell out of Medvedev's pocket. So that's why they had to abandon that point. That makes sense. Anyway, 30 all. Trying to go down the tee on the first serve there, Medi, but it puts it into the net. Backhand return. Backhand Medvedev. Backhand to backhand right now. Is that a winner from Alcaraz? Or did it go out previously? I think it went out 40-30. It's going to be a challenge here. But it did go out 40-30. Indeed, he has, Jane. I think he's beaten this year as well in Dubai. Goes down the tee. It's a good serve from Medvedev, and it is 3 games all, ladies and gentlemen. 3 games all. Let me know your thoughts in the live chat, whether you think Medvedev or Alcaraz would be the more difficult opponent for Djokovic. Three all. Okay, love 15 as well on Alcaraz's serve, so a bit of pressure here for the Spaniard. What did everyone think of the match earlier? Bit of a damp squib? Bit disappointing. Many people maybe thought, like myself, thought at least Sinner might get off to a good start. That didn't happen at all. He's broken in his first service game. 15 all, by the way, now here. Okay, 15 all. Alcaraz serving. Second serve here. Forehand return. Forehand Alcaraz. Backhand Medvedev. Backhand Alcaraz. Backhand Medvedev. Backhand Alcaraz. Forehand Medvedev. Backhand Medvedev. Forehand Alcaraz. Oh, pushing Medvedev out wide. It's 30-15. 30-15, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, he's beaten him once in a slam, I think. Obviously, 2021 US Open final. He lost to him in the Australian Open final the same year. Trying to think of any other slam meetings between them. I think it's been 2 slam meetings between them, 1 each. Now Alcaraz in charge at this point, comes into the net, and he's got an easy volley at the net as a result, 40-15. Good slice there from Carlitos. Okay, 40-15, Carlos Alcaraz, threatening to go 4-3 in front, nudging ahead, serving first. Clips the net. Medi returns, but unsuccessfully, but it doesn't matter because it clipped the net. 40-15. Down the tee, backhand return. Backhand slice from Carlos just over the net. Medi, though, coming into the net, nets. He's not comfortable in that no man's land area. And Alcaraz holds, and we will be back after a short break.
Thanks for tuning into this watch along. While there's a break in play, here's a reminder to hit the like button, subscribe, and click that notification bell. Your support helps to keep the channel going. While we're here, you can now become a member to enjoy perks, including badges for the live chat, but also bonus material such as interviews with top players from both ATP and WTA tours. The membership link is pinned in the live chat. You can also follow us on Twitter, Facebook and Instagram. So whether it be serves or volleys, forehands or backhands, serve bots or drop shots, we've got you covered, whether that be via our website, talking-tennis.com, where you can read features and interviews from our top writers. Or if you prefer us in audio form, you can subscribe to our podcast on Apple, Amazon or Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts from. Remember, we offer you wall-to-wall coverage via our regular watch-alongs, magazine shows such as Nick's WTA Weekly or Damien and Mario's ATP version. Plus, we deliver top content from people on the ground, actually at the tournaments, so you get even nearer to the action. So, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on all things tennis.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. 4-3 here, Alcaraz leading in this first set. Alcaraz sliced there, but on the defensive, Medvedev on the attack. Did Medvedev go long there with the forehand? I think he may have done. Yes, he did. Love 15. Love 15. Not sure I agree, Tops, with that. I mean, since 2019, he has won the US Open. He has been to world number one. He has won Miami. He's now he's won his first clay court tournament. He won Rome this year. He's now in his first Wimbledon semi-final. He's won the ATP Tour Finals in 2020. I think he's doing okay. Since 2019, that is. Okay. Medvedev 30-15 now, though. Serve getting him out of a bit of trouble there. Medvedev serving. Goes down the tee. Forehand return from Carlos is very good. Hits the line, 30 all. Okay, Mehdi, where are you going with this serve? You are going to the forehand of Alcaraz. Backhand Medvedev, drop shot. Not good, though. Can Alcaraz take advantage? He can. 30-40. 30-40, ladies and gentlemen. And we have a break point. I believe it's the first break point of the match. Alcaraz gets that break point. 30-40. Medvedev serving. Where are you going with this first serve? You are going out wide. Ooh, I thought that was going to be an ace. It's not. So, second serve. Backhand return from Carlos is good. And it's one in the point. 5-3. And Carlos Alcaraz will serve for the first set. Carlos Alcaraz is going to serve for the first set. Five, 3. Okay, Carlos. Okay, second serve. Oh, second serve. 5-3, Carlos. Carlos, backhand return is wide, so it's 15 love. 15 love, ladies and gentlemen. And it is now 30 love. 2 points away from winning this first set. Quick as you like. Now, backhand return, yes. 30 love. Okay, Carlos. 2 points away now from winning this first set. Backhand return goes long, 40 love. 3 set points for Carlos Alcaraz. I can see Tom. I can see clearly now that Tom is here. Hang on a second. There you go, Tom. Just in time to see Carlos Alcaraz win the first set.
Yeah, I timed that well, didn't I? I battled through the horrendous Glasgow motorway conditions, showing you my loyalty and love.
Is it
brand.
raining?
Oh, torrential rain, mate! Torrential rain. And it was one of those motorways where you couldn't see out in front of you. But I battled through, and I'm here. So good.
Great,
timing.
thank you, Tom.
No problem.
No, much appreciated. I sort of suggested when you said that you gave me an ETA, I thought, okay, that'll probably be the end of the first set of this match, and it ends up being exactly thus. It was nip and tuck, both players looking reasonably comfortable on serve until Carlos got one breakpoint opportunity and he took it. Unlike Sinner today, who had half a dozen or so opportunities, including 2 set points. So that was a different match. But what were your thoughts on this match pre-match? Were you edging towards Alcaraz or Medvedev?
I was. Anyone who has heard me on this and some of the other last ball drops in the commentaries, I think I've been a bigger fan of Alcaraz on grass than a lot of commentators. Probably pre and during the tournament. I think for me, the Queen's result was a big moment for him. It gave him confidence, which is one of the most important things. And he's had the better of Medvedev recently, and obviously the grass could have been a little bit of a leveler in terms of ability. I said before, Medvedev to me looks like he should be a grass court player, a decent grass court player. But I just thought, as I said, I thought this morning when thinking about it, I said Alcaraz in 4. And that was just because I think Medvedev has been playing well since the Australian Open. A blip at the French, so he's been consistent. His serving is strong. Again, something that Nick and I discussed on the last ball drops the other night. So and he knows that tactic of standing quite far back. Alcaraz should cotton on to that and just use that drop shot all day long. I don't know if he has already. You can tell me if he's maybe tried. He
has actually, and I was very interested in what you were saying the other day, and you were talking about the sort of lack of success for him on grass at Wimbledon this year for Carlos, and I was really interested in that because I think it's about the amount of time you get. You do need time to execute, but also threaten a big forehand. So you need time to execute the drop shot, but you also need time to threaten a big forehand. So on clay, for example, the ball bounces quite nicely, but let's say fairly deeply, and you're both a couple of meters behind the baseline, and you're threatening the biggest forehand of your life, and you disguise it, quickly change, and boom, you've got the drop shot.
Yeah.
That's the first thing. So that's the first advantage for the clay, that threat of the forehand, which you need. Because if you're just constantly sort of battling around and you're hitting good forehands from time to time, but you're not getting time, then you're not going to have the opportunity to threaten the biggest forehand of your life. Yeah. Second thing, or backhand for that matter. Second thing as well is that timing also makes it a bit difficult to execute the drop shot because the landing point should be good. The landing point should be good, as in like after it lands, the bounce after it lands will actually be more favorable on grass than a hard court, for example.
Yeah.
So it's the mixture of those two things. And maybe he's just not had the best tournament when it comes to the drop shots. I don't know.
Well, I actually was thinking about this as well, John. See, like 2022, I think especially when he went in that run, I think when Madrid where he beat Nadal and Djokovic, and it was just like, wow, this guy's the real deal, and at times you were thinking about it and going, how can anyone over the next 20 years play against this tennis, because he was using it to such effect. I do think in 2023. Yes, he's been successful. Yes, he's still using that drop shot, that kind of, now patented Carlos Alcaraz move. But I do think players are working it out. And,
Maybe.
I don't think he's maybe been as successful this year as he probably was when he first jumped in the scene, because as with any, any sport, you have a team who maybe goes through a football season for a whole season, not losing. By next season, they'll not do that because other teams will have worked them out.
Yeah.
It's the same with tennis. Players are going out with their coaches will be studying his game and his drop shots.
Oh, absolutely.
And looking for the traits, what do they call it in poker? The tells when he's about to play that shot. And also a little bit of I think some of the players I can't believe some of the players are as fast as they are, and I wonder if some of the players have worked on their acceleration over the last 12 months because of that drop shot, because other players have been using it as well. I think they call it the Carlos Alcaraz effect. Other players are using the drop shot more. The drop shot is coming back, and that's because of him. So, players are going to use the drop shot more. Players are going to combat it a lot more. And I just wonder, when coming here, because you were thinking, semi-final French Open, Djokovic, he's just going to use that. But Djokovic just out-tacted him, especially in the first set in Paris. It's looking like it could be a repeat of that, which was the final we all wanted pre-tournament. Saying that, again, I'll stick with it. I said when I spoke to Miles way back at the start of the fortnight, I don't think Alcaraz is as big an underdog in that final as a lot of people do. I know he's playing well, Djokovic. I know this is his domain, but I we'll speak about this maybe once the result is finalised and set in stone. But I just think there is arguments and cases to be made for Carlos Alcaraz to win on Sunday. I know he has to get past Medvedev first, so let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Definitely, yeah. By the way, what is the score? Are you watching through your normal TV or are you watching through streaming?
Stream it on the iPlayer, the BBC iPlayer. It's on my phone right now. Carlos Alcaraz is 1 set to the good, and he is 15 love. So I'm a little bit behind on that.
On that score, but that's why I was asking, because if you were watching on TV, you'd be the same. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a little bit of jiggery pokery and try and find a score that's a little closer to your commentary. I'm going to go backstage for a little while, but
no worries.
Talk us through the next few games.
Absolutely, John. You just let me know who's coming on later on. So, hi, folks. Jake Davies, come on. Carlos, absolutely. I don't know what the room is like in terms of who is supporting who. I'd assume the majority will be a Carlos in the Carlos camp. But Ghost, am I sensing a little bit of Daniil Medvedev fandom there? Anyway, we will stick to the tennis. I'm now catching up on the scoreboard. So I have got it actually at 30-15 to Carlos Alcaraz serving now. So I assume not Djokovic, of course, that's not till Sunday. I think that that Medvedev will just win this point, and wonder if it'll be a double fault because he just put the first serve just long. Djokovic, I need to stop saying Djokovic. Alcaraz has just put it long, so we know why it was 30 all, and I think we kind of know what's going to happen in the next point as well. So let's just kind of quickly look at some of the comments. Ghost, Tom, to be honest, you want to be a writer, don't you? Novels, not journalism. Well, I do journalism at the moment, Ghost. I write for a local newspaper in the west of Glasgow, just a place called Clydebank. So it's a weekly title, and I do news reporting for that. A lot of sport as well. But the passion is tennis as well. So one day a novel, maybe I'll write your biography, Ghost. How about that? And I know that's not technically a novel, but it'll be a bestseller, I believe. So what have I missed so far? I don't know too much about. I know John hinted that Sinner had a couple of set points in the earlier semi-final. Djokovic, I just saw on the app, looked to be fairly comfortable, but you can tell me differently if that was not the case, if it was a lot closer than the scoreline suggested. As I see the tennis that we are watching now, Alcaraz has just saved a Medvedev break point. I believe that is Medvedev's first of the afternoon. So looks like Daniil is starting to find his feet a little bit. And of course, Medvedev was 2-1 down to the less favoured Chris Eubanks in the quarterfinals, and he fought back from that. Didn't stress, and I commented before, thought he showed some great mentality as Alcaraz hits a strong serve that Medvedev can only go long on the forehand with, and he has game point to level up the second set. Yeah, so as we go through this one and as the players take a seat, we'll maybe catch up on what's happened so far today, maybe look ahead to tomorrow's final, women's final, as Alcaraz gets first serve in. Medvedev returns, and Medvedev. So the +1 Medvedev got back. Alcaraz went into the corner of the deuce court, the far side deuce court, with a forehand. Medvedev got it back, and he tried a wee half volley drop shot that really only just flicked the bottom of his rally. It nearly made it though, and clipped it didn't clip the cord. It was well into the net. Now I see it back. So we're now at deuce number 2. As Alcaraz serves from the deuce court. Yes, he is. He serves out wide. Medvedev read it. Half volley, and it goes in. He was so far back, Medvedev. He was struggling to get back. And that is the danger of standing so far back with Alcaraz coming into the net. Of course, Christopher Eubanks used it so well, set 2-3. Alcaraz, not much a serving volley. I don't think he intended it to be a complete serving volley unless he was a little bit slow getting to the net. He was down low as he picked that one up though, and Medvedev had no time to get back. Game point again, Alcaraz down the body serve, a slower serve, but a drop shot, as we just talked about, John and I, using that drop shot to a decent effect. And why not? When your opponent stands so far back, it is just begging. Doesn't even need to be that close to the net to get it. So it's game for Carlos Alcaraz as he levels up 1-1. I think, Ghost, you had mentioned you think maybe Medvedev may come back in this one. So I'd like to hear your reasons behind that one. Not disagreeing, but yeah, let us know. Is this the first line of Ghost's autobiography, if he's writing it himself? But born in an abandoned Depression-era tennis club in the American Plains, young Ghosty would master a slice backhand before his first birthday. Well, didn't we all, Ghost? Didn't we all? I would love to write that book and tell your story. So, where are we? Medvedev 15 love up. Serving well, I heard. Was listening to it a little bit on BBC Radio on the treacherous journey to get here for you all. And the serve, I had a couple of free points gained by Medvedev in set 1. Funnily enough, it was, I think, in the time that it took me to get out the car and into this studio, I missed the Alcaraz break. As the players exchange backhand, slice backhand by Alcaraz, forehand by Djokovic. Now a strong forehand by Alcaraz who pushes Medvedev back. He can only put a block backhand return long. Alcaraz is looking good. And this further backs up my point that I think this guy is the real deal on grass. I don't know why we've all doubted him. Why is everybody saying Djokovic is so far ahead when, let's just watch this space. We'll discuss this as and when it happens. I think we can all agree. One question I did want to pose to you guys all watching and listening. Has Alcaraz's run, which we think it is looking probably on its way to the final, but has this run, reaffirmed your belief that we are now witnessing a future Wimbledon champion? For me, I think there's no doubt in that now, barring any injury and obviously touch wood, we hope that doesn't strike any player, let alone a guy who, you know, could carry the tennis, the men's side of the game for a while. As Medvedev has gone long on 3 ground strokes, 2 backhands and a forehand, and it set up 2 break points for Carlos Alcaraz to gain an advantage in this second set. Of course, already 1 set to the good. As he bounces, he's not too far back. Strong serving usually gets Medvedev out of this position. But we're now into a rally. Forehand to backhand, or forehand to forehand this time. Medvedev forehand, it goes right by the line. Sliced backhand by Alcaraz. A pick-up forehand by Medvedev. Sliced backhand. This time goes wide. And Medvedev saves the first of 2 break points. He needs this here, or he'll be right up against it. I don't think it'll deter the young Russian. I think he will still battle on. He has a strong mentality, believes in his game, believes in his unorthodox style. We're back into a rally. Sliced backhand early by Alcaraz. Took a while to drop, but a forehand by Medvedev and then a pick-up forehand by Alcaraz. He tried to go for it. He tried to blast that one. It's like when I stand up at the golf tee and try to absolutely melt my drive and it goes the wrong way. This time, Alcaraz finds the net. And we're back to deuce on the Medvedev serve. And there we go. He's challenging it. It was out. I thought he had served an ace there, as mentioned before. Both players in the deuce side of their court. Second serve, Alcaraz on top of that one. He rushes him. And, he's still in the rally. It's a pick-up volley and another volley by Alcaraz. It's some rally. And Medvedev nearly gets to it. That was something else. Alcaraz taking any time away from Medvedev on the second serve. Backhand, rushing him up to the net. Medvedev could only pick it up. A volley was then reached by Medvedev, but the second one wasn't. Stretch volley. It was actually a really good attempt at a passing shot by Medvedev, but Alcaraz managed to pick up and he has another break point. We're on a second serve here. Of course, Medvedev playing at his usual fast pace, not giving even us commentators time to take a breath. Second serve, backhand up the line. Alcaraz breaks. Medvedev cannot pick that one up. He puts it long and wide, and Alcaraz has a break in the second set. That was after being break point down in his opening service game. Excuse me. And so it's looking like Carlos Alcaraz is firmly in the driving seat in this semi-final, and we are going to get Novak Djokovic versus Carlos Alcaraz in the Sunday's final. That is mouth-watering. Still a way to go. What is going on with that? Wow. Okay. So I assume this was done pre-match. And 75% of the 12 votes. I'm not going to try my math. That's why I'm a journalist, because I'm no good with numbers. I'm good with words. So 12. So what would that make? Is this really easy? Is this 8? Is that 8 of you? God, I'm really bad at maths. 9 of you, I'll say. 9 of you. That's 9. It's 9 out of the 12. There we go. 9 out of the 12. God, I was in the kind of spoon maths class back in the day, and that was 20 years ago. So 9 of you believed that Medvedev was going to win this semi-final. I'd like to know your reasoning. What was the thinking behind that? There's might have been even some Talking Tennis's pundits backing Medvedev. I know Nick had Carlitos in his fantasy. I'm sure Nick Carter, a regular on this Talking Tennis channel, will be, I don't know if counting the money is the right term, but he will be quids in and happy if it continues to go the way he was going. I don't know if he was up against, I don't want to name drop, I don't know if he was up against Vance or it might have been Owen. I don't. Anyway, Nick, get in touch. Let us know who you were up against. I know this one was for the winners basically to decide, because I think Nick had Djokovic Alcaraz in the final. Early point for Alcaraz on his serve. Again, Medvedev not showing any kind of emotion right now. Usually when he's down, he does start to get a little bit nippy. there might be some sort of wordage to the crowd or to the umpire. It's usually like London buses. It will come at some point. A really disappointing backhand there. He had loads of time. A backhand by Medvedev has just hit the net. It's 30-love. And the pressure will soon be back on Medvedev if Alcaraz can see out this game. Of course, as I say, there must have been some thinking behind why so many of you believed that Medvedev was the favourite for this one. In terms of Carlos, as I say, he's just got the game. He's got such the power. He's so light on his feet. He serves improved a lot in the last 12 months. So I thought he was quite impressive, especially in that Queen's run and throughout this event. He's been, the best word is probably workmanlike for Alcaraz. He's never panicked. I think Jarry got a set off him. Berrettini took the first set. He's not panicked. A lot of the games have been like 4-4. Alcaraz is renowned for an early break in the first few games, just to make his mark early doors and make his opponent chase him. But this tournament, I've seen him, he's bid his time. Look at the Holger Rune fixture. He took his time as Medvedev just passes with an almighty winner down the line. That was probably his shot of the match. Certainly from what I have seen. It was a return winner, I believe. It was a backhand return winner. Alcaraz coming into the net. Medvedev basically read it and passed him down the line. We're at 30-all. And so we are still in this one. The last 2 points going the way of Daniil Medvedev. Serving in the deuce court again, out wide. Medvedev so far back, I can almost see him in Glasgow. Backhand return, backhand to backhand at the moment. Alcaraz runs around to get the forehand, a strong forehand in. He's got another chance to go down the line this time, and Medvedev can only go long. He might challenge, but Alcaraz knew straight away it was long. That was well played, a nicely constructed point by Alcaraz, pushing Medvedev into the corner on his backhand so he can set up the run around for the forehand. He went cross-court first time, down the line second time, and Medvedev could only go long. 40-30 game point to Carlos Alcaraz. And he serves down the tee. Medvedev gets it again. Forehand, strong forehand by backhand this time. Backhand by Medvedev. Sliced backhand by Alcaraz. Backhand pickup by Medvedev. Down the line, run around forehand, but Medvedev gets it back, but it goes wide. And Carlos Alcaraz consolidates the break 3-1 in the second set. As I say, these are looking like assured points by Alcaraz. He is constructing points like a grass court master. He is winning points like a grass court master. He is out Medvedeving Medvedev right now in terms of just waiting out the rallies, waiting for his opponent to make a mistake. Medvedev, of course, standing so far back. And the benefit for him is he'll always be in 9 times out of 10, he will be in the rally. He will get his racket on the ball. But often against the better players, that has been, like Alcaraz, he has been taking advantage of that with the drop shot. He's just found the net. Alcaraz on the Medvedev serve. It's 15-love. He looked a little frustrated, more frustrated than you'd think he would be so far. A set and a break up. Medvedev down the tee. That's that spot serve, and he's picked that spot. He's got the ace. Hello, Max. Good to see you. Good to hear from you. Drop us your comments on your thoughts. I think that may have been a second serve ace I've just missed there. Apologies for that. It's 30-love now as, again, another strong serve. And Alcaraz goes long. Alcaraz is looking really frustrated, and you wonder what's going on in the head right now. He's a set and a break up. Doesn't need to get himself too worked up here. He's fairly comfortable, but he knows the danger of Medvedev, who serves out wide, does a jumping backhand cross court, and then comes into the net to finish it off with a volley. Hello. I'm never singing ever. I shouldn't sing. Honestly, I'm terrible at singing. John will lose subscribers if I continue to sing. So 40-love. Daniil Medvedev This will be his most comfortable service game in a while, and it is. Again, strong serving. That is the key to Medvedev for me. Strong serving in that 4th set against Eubanks. He just played his game. His tactic was stay in this. This guy can't play as well as this for this long. I'll nick it. It looks like he's locking down on the serve again. Some strong serving. It's one of the reasons why I said he should be in the conversation more about one of the better servers on the ATP Tour. He has had a comfortable service game there. And you watch, I feel Medvedev will be strong there for the remainder of the set. 2 seconds. The players sit down for a takeover. It was all night long. Yes, Max, where are you again? I'm sure you did tell me this the last time. I'd like to say the States somewhere, but I could be totally off kilter. I thought it was something like California, something like that. So good to see. What time is it where you are, and what's the weather like? In Glasgow, we are at 5 to 6, and it is there's a good Scottish word. Okay, and I'll tell you this one. It's dreek here in Scotland, in Glasgow. Now, dreek, that's Dreich. So that's what we call dreek here at the moment. Terry, how are you doing? Terry, very confident. Says if Alcaraz plays the way he is playing at the moment, I assume by the Vamos, Terry, you're speaking about Carlitos, and if he plays like this against Djokovic, he'll win easily. I would hold the bus, as we say again in Scotland, on the term easily, and win when playing against Djokovic. I don't think many have done it over the years. So yeah, I mean, I think he'll make it very competitive. But we're still a long way to go for that. Medvedev will have something to say about that as Alcaraz comes into the net again. I don't think Medvedev. See, as soon as you put Djokovic in my head, I can't get him out of it. So yeah, Medvedev serving volley by Carlos there to go up 15-love. Medvedev nearly got to it, didn't get to it. I wonder if Alcaraz will look to that. This is more than I've seen Carlos Alcaraz, serving and volleying in his previous downs. He's doing it again. Not even returned properly by Medvedev as he went down the tee with a serve. But let me know, have you guys noticed Alcaraz going serve volley as much as this, or do you think, with success of the likes of Kyrgios and Eubanks has got in the past against Medvedev, is this an implementation by Carlos and his team to take this, to rush him? He's done it again. He was coming in there. The strong serving is making these points, making him not even have to answer the volley. And Medvedev goes wide, doesn't get it back. We're at 40-love. Interesting will be the next Carlos game, depending on how the Medvedev service game goes, because Medvedev will know that. Medvedev will now be noticing that, Carlos has come in the last 3 points. It could be 4 in a row here. It is 4 in a row. He's come in again. I don't think that serve made it. He won't come in now on the second serve. So on the first serve, Carlos has been coming in, but I'm 99.9% sure he won't do it now. He has, and Medvedev has tried to get it down. If that had made the net, I think Medvedev would have won the point. So 4 points in a row there. Alcaraz has come in every point. So he wins to love, as mentioned there, and the key events. As said, and below, follow me at Tom Grant Journal. I often try and keep up to date with my tennis musings, as much as talking this and whatever else is going on in my life. As Medvedev serve, backhand, jump backhand again. Has he gone long with that? So that just to update you on what's happened there. Strong serve out wide by Medvedev, picked up by Alcaraz. A jumped backhand cross court stroke there by Medvedev has Alcaraz going high, and the easy enough smash is put wide by Medvedev. Strong serve this time though, an ace, 15-all. And get following Talking Tennis. We're on our way to 3,000 subscribers. I think we even hit the 2,000 subscribers at the French Open. So we could be doing this every slam. Let's keep on building it. A strong return by, no, it didn't. It went out as 30-15. Strong serving again by both, to be fair, in the last two service games. They've been finding the service box on their first more than not. Yeah, he did, Terry. I just wondered. It's just, I mean, I missed the first set, so if he's been doing that most of the net, and my surprise, good return by Alcaraz backhand. Yes, Terry, you are correct. He did do a lot of serve volleying against Medvedev. I know a lot of players have been doing that a lot more. I just hadn't seen it so far, and what I have watched. Of course, I missed the first set, so yeah, I wonder if he had been doing that during the first set. You can tell me. As the players exchange, it's looked like that's caught the line. Has that caught the line? The players were exchanging forehands. Alcaraz tried to go up the line. I think he has challenged just because the scoreboard has left the screen. But I think he knows this one is just wide. Yeah, it is wide actually by quite a bit. Yeah, Las Vegas it was, Max. I remember that because I remember saying I'd been to Las Vegas and then we were speaking about different hotels. Good serve by Medvedev, block return by Alcaraz, and Medvedev puts it away. Again, a fairly comfortable service hold by Medvedev. These players playing at a rapid pace, as most Medvedev matches are, but they're already sitting down again ahead of a changeover at is it? I've lost track. Is it 4-3? It's 4-3. Is it to what's 4-all? Is it 4-all? I assume then. So, as it says, Medvedev's first semi-final at Wimbledon. Of course, these two battling out the two previous winners of the US Open, which, of course, is next month. Well, the tail end of next month, start of September. Of course, all the action will be covered here on Talking Tennis for some Nighthawks. I heard John Silk is going to be doing 14 nights in a row through the night, so stay tuned for that. Of course, US Open. So US Open coming up August into September. Of course, Alcaraz winning it last year, becoming the youngest men's world number one. And Medvedev, of course, won it 2 years ago when he stopped Novak Djokovic from claiming the calendar slam, which will be on again if he manages to win Sunday's final against either of these two men. Vanch and Srihatri are going to join at the end of the match to talk about the two semi-finals and look towards the men's final. That's good to hear. They too will be able to give us some good insight into where they think it's going. And, you know, if you're going to have a flutter, okay, please gamble responsibly. But if you are, it would do you no turn just to take whatever the guys are saying and put it to your thinking. Okay, players. They must have changed channel because I'm now somehow watching a news. So let me get the stream back up. It's not talking news. It's talking tennis. So give me 1 second. You know, live television, as they used to say, never worked. But was it Children and Animals in the BBC? So. We're back up, as a catch, another rapid service game here. It's Alcaraz serving. It's 4-3. Sorry, I don't know where I got 4-all. It was that post. It was saying 4-3 when Medvedev serving. Would made me think when he won his service game it would be 4-all. But we're now 4-3. Alcaraz serving. Alcaraz is. This is confusing. Is he broken serve? Have I missed a break of serve? I don't know. It's looking to me as if Alcaraz is 5-3 up now with his service game. Oh, of course, he broke earlier on. God, I'm losing my mind. Right, so 5-3 up now, Alcaraz. I'm back on thing. I thought we were with serve. I forgot totally about the Alcaraz break of serve. It's been a long day, a long week. It's Friday night. I've not even had a beer yet. Forgive me. So, yeah, we're now 5-3. Alcaraz just a game away from going up 2-0. I wonder if producer John would be able to tell us if Medvedev has and when come back from 2 sets down. He'll be working away, trying to find out that information as I talk us through his service game, which Alcaraz has gained the first point in. So love 15 on the Medvedev serve. If anyone else knows, when the last time, if he has come back from 2 sets to love down, as Alcaraz goes love 30 up with a winner, backhand winner, forehand winner, off the serve. He's looking the business for me. Alcaraz is looking the business, and I'd like to hear from Vanch. I will put it to Vanch and Srihari. I will ask them why Carlos Alcaraz cannot win this match. I think he's looking the business. I agree with Terry. Let's go, Terry. Me and you in the Carlos Alcaraz fan club. As Medvedev strong. What a return by Alcaraz. And it's brilliant. It is just absolutely sublime. Medvedev thought he had done a winner with a running forehand up the line. Alcaraz somehow got it back with extra on it. And even though Medvedev showed some great pace to get back there, Alcaraz a sliced backhand into the far court. Wrong foot's Medvedev. It's 3 set points for a 2 sets to love. Good serve down the tee by Medvedev. Wide and long by Alcaraz. It's 15-40, sorry. He saves the first of 3. But that point by Alcaraz, probably his point of the match so far. Certainly from what I have seen. Well, I'd like to see that one again. This time down into the body. Alcaraz was probably expecting it to go a little wider. What have we got? Where did he go long? Well, Alcaraz will be frustrated with that. His return, he had all day to hit it, but he's went long with the return. So we're now 40-30. First serve not in. So we're on a second serve here. Let's see what Alcaraz does if he'll rush him here again. He hasn't. He stayed at the baseline. But his return was good enough. It's set to Alcaraz. He needed 2 breaks to do it. And it is firmly, he is firmly in the driving seat. It is 6-3 in the second. We are 2 sets to the good. And John has come through to discuss exactly what I was talking about. So, Cilic, as number 2 seed, makes second week of the champion for the first time. It looked like he was heading home, took the lead, but the Russian hit back. I can't even remember that. You know, I genuinely can't remember that. What was I doing in 2021? I thought, you know, I'd just got with my partner, so I was probably being all romantic and taking her out for dinner or something like that, missing the tennis. Not anymore, though. So he has done it before on grass at Wimbledon. This match is not over yet, and you could argue Cilic was, you know, more accomplished on grass at the time of that match. Maybe not in the best form of his life, mind you. 2022, he had a run to the French, didn't he, as well? So, yeah, fair play. Well done. Thank you, John. So he has. Yes, not anymore. I thought you might pick up on that one, Ghost. I need to get more romantic, I think. You know, back in the early days, it was wining and dining. And now it's, you know, babe, Wimbledon's on. Right, come on. Let us watch Wimbledon. Right, back to the tennis. Where do we go on these chats and talking tennis? So listen to Tom and Uncle Joe. We should start our own podcast, Ghosty. You know, give relationship advice. So where does Daniil Medvedev go from here? He is 2 sets down. What does he have to do to try and get into this match? It's looking a little bit like he is going to be on the plane home relatively soon, but you never know in this game. But I think Alcaraz, as I say, is looking the business for me, looking strong, and, you know, as I said, looking like a guy who could possibly take on Novak Djokovic and actually make it competitive, as not many have done on this court for a number of years. I think Djokovic is 10 years, a decade on centre court without a defeat. Of course, I think it was 2017. He was on court 1 where he had to retire with an elbow injury. But no, not in this centre court. This is his home, as much as Australia is. As a serve volley by Alcaraz, wins him the point to take him to 40 love. Keeps doing that. He will be in Sunday's final Of course, Vanch and Strihari joining me at the conclusion of this. It could be, in the next 30 to 40 minutes, or it could be in the next 2 hours. But whatever happens, we will find out together. Ghost today has rejected my my podcast proposal. That's okay. It's not the first time I've been rejected, Ghost. And that's why we need to give relationship advice so people don't make the same mistakes as us. As Alcaraz, 40 love up, first serve, doesn't find its mark. He has second serve. What can Medvedev be saying to himself right now? What can he do to change it? Out wide, we have just a quick screenshot of what is happening at Wimbledon at the moment. 2-love in sets as Medvedev gets it back. Sliced block. What is that shot? A kind of sliced block, half volley into the open court on the deuce side. Again, Medvedev so far back, even on the second serve, wasn't going to make that back. And yeah, so he's got a lot to think about here. Your man at Wimbledon looks like he's sleeping with his eyes open or something there, looking like he's not really interested in the tennis. You are a free bird, Ghost, and may you soar forever. So Alcaraz looking quite lively now. He's up for this. He's pumped. He is speaking to his box, just giving them a little fist pump. He's got this, is the message he is telling his box as Medvedev serves. First serve is wide. An early break for Carlos Alcaraz, who was putting pressure, did it twice in set 2. Double fault by Daniil Medvedev. He is feeling it right now. It's been a long tournament, a long couple of weeks. It could just now be catching up on him. The 4-5 setter again, of course, against Christopher Eubanks. There wasn't much rest in that match. It was just winner after winner. Is that now catching up on him as Alcaraz goes for the... Well, there you go. There you go. Love it. Love the facts. Stato. I mentioned, I just noticed Alcaraz doing a lot more serve volleying than usual. And yeah, you can see across the first 5 matches, he did 33. He's done 12 already today. And 4 of them came in the one game as he sliced. It wouldn't be a drop shot per se, but a sliced return by Alcaraz can only allow Medvedev to find the net, and he's 15-30 already on the Medvedev serve. The last 15 points, the television has shown last 15 points, Alcaraz has won 12 of them. He's definitely on top here. Momentum's shift in tennis, however, and this could be one. I think, Medvedev didn't like that ball there. Flung it away in a little bit of disgust. Second serve, long again. He's now getting animated. I said it was going to be coming. I don't know if it's his box, the ball boy, whoever. It's the box. He's not happy. As I said, like London buzzes. Me and John, we're just on the same level. I mentioned a guy looking like he's sleeping with his eyes open, and John pulls it up on screen. Medvedev, yeah. So getting a little bit frustrated, and he'll be even more frustrated as he finds the tram lines, and he has been broken early in the third. This match is now on Carlos Alcaraz's racket. He just serves it out. He serves his way into a first Wimbledon final, and he will be the match that we have all been waiting for. The first time these two will have faced each other on grass, and it's a mouth-watering one. A blockbuster final for Wimbledon. The number 1 and number 2 seed not only fighting it out for the Wimbledon crown, but I'm sure they're fighting it out for the world number 1 berth as well. So Alcaraz now serving out wide. Medvedev so far back. Finds that looked into me. Shows you what I know. So he reloads second serve. Again out wide. Or maybe the first one was a let. It's hard to know when you're not watching it with commentary. So I think the first one was a let. Anyway, he's won the point. So he served it out. Maybe Medvedev didn't get it back. That was a strange one. So we're now to 15 love. Alcaraz at the top of the screen in the ad court to ad court. Medvedev pretty much touching the backboard, it looks like, by the camera. This time it's into the body shot, a wayward backhand return. That swashbuckling style, that unorthodox style that Medvedev has. I'm still surprised at that. I'm assuming that's because from 12 votes, the last 7 votes have been for Alcaraz. So, yeah, peculiar. As Alcaraz serves into the body, finds the box, backhand return by Medvedev, backhand into the corner, sliced backhand by Alcaraz, forehand, looped forehand by Medvedev, can only be found back by Alcaraz. They're back into neutral, but Alcaraz pushed back and can only find a net. Well played by Medvedev. He is fighting here to stay in this. Okay, what did Sinner say? And about feeling closer this year against Djokovic, even last year. He said last year in the last 2 sets he didn't have a chance. He did. Okay, so tell me, people who I missed it. Where were the set points? Because that Sinner had. I thought it was 6-3, 6-4. Was it 60? Oh, I suppose he must have been 5-4. I don't know. I thought it was 6-3, 6-4, 7-6, but he was 7-4 in the tiebreaker. So when John had mentioned that he'd had set points, I was just trying to work out, but I may have misread the score in my rush trying to get to this one. So let us know what you thought about that one. Is Sinner going to win? It's still very early, but is Sinner going to make a mark here one day or anywhere? I hope he does well at the US Open. So unlucky last year. And Alcaraz serve volleys at 30 all. He had at 4-5, of course, on the 7-6 one. Right. Okay, there you go. That makes sense. But that's why Djokovic is a winner. He's been down a few times, like under pressure a few times. Wawrinka comes to mind, 5-3 in the tiebreak. I think Hurkacz, again, I think he had 3 set points in the tiebreak. The first tiebreak against, before they stopped play till the next day, Djokovic just doesn't stop. He tunes in, he locks down, he wins those points. You can never ever think, okay, this is going to go to 2-1 here, or you don't count Djokovic out ever. It's Carlos Alcaraz, 3 love. I wonder, we're in a final. This one will be a final if it comes to fruition. Will there be question marks about Carlos Alcaraz and the cramps and the nerves against, his big rival? Or is that putting too much pressure on young shoulders? It obviously was an impact in Paris in the semi-finals, as Medvedev sarcastically somewhat puts the thumbs up to his box. You can tell that there's not much meaning behind that. It's looking like it's going to be Alcaraz Djokovic. I will put it to the guys who should be joining me relatively soon if the things keep going the way they are going. 3-0 to Carlos Alcaraz. Where does Medvedev go from here? It's been a successful year. He's won titles. He had a disappointing Oz. He had a disappointing France. He's had a decent Wimbledon. Of course, he's won Grand Slam 2021 US Open. Would he have thought that he would have won more Grand Slams than he has now after that 2021 triumph where he toppled Novak Djokovic in New York? Would he have thought, of course, 2 sets up on Nadal at the very next slam, only for Nadal to win in one of the all-time great finals? Medvedev still communicating with his box. Shoulders are shrugged there, as we all try to figure out what can we do to combat this. Of course, Ghost and Rublev is getting to the semi-finals of Roland Garros. Remember that? As we battle it out, Medvedev surely should put a smash away. He does. Probably one of his better shots in the last half hour. Of course, he missed a relatively easy smash, and I think that was round about the start of his run of lost points. He needs something to jig him up, maybe a strong. Oh, there we go. Is that an ace? I think it was an ace, because he's going for multiple balls, 30-15. The last 2 points, maybe a glimmer of hope for Medvedev fans such as Ghost. We never know. Well, we will know because we'll watch it and find out. As Alcaraz goes long with a block return forehand, and it's 40-15 to Medvedev. So he is serving game point to get his name on the scoreboard in set 3. Serving usually in these moments, he kind of goes cold, he locks in. This one will be down. It's in the body. Block return just inside the line by Alcaraz. Slice backhand across court, and it is put wide by Medvedev. 40-15. Should still put this one away. Ghost, do you like to put, the maybe a little bit out there predictions? To be fair, I had Andy Murray reaching at least the semi-finals here at Wimbledon, and that was even after the draw. And when it was Thiem or Tsitsipas, I thought he could beat these players in front of him. Medvedev sees out the game at 40-30. He had Alcaraz on the defence, and finally put away a smash. And he is on the scoreboard. 1-3-3-1 Alcaraz with the ball in hand. He has been serving out fairly comfortable service games, I think, since Medvedev had that break point early in the second. So yeah, Medvedev, what can he do? Roundabout, actually thinking about it, it's roundabout when Alcaraz started switching up to the serve and volley tactics. Medvedev hasn't done much damage on it. He stays back this time. The players are into a rally forehand down the line, backhand by Alcaraz, sliced backhand by Medvedev just over the net. A looped forehand block by Alcaraz. This time forehand by Alcaraz, backhand by Alcaraz, cross court. Backhand by Medvedev, cross court again, sliced backhand up the line, just catches the line. Medvedev, still the rally goes on. Looped forehand, sliced backhand by Alcaraz, backhand by Medvedev, the longest rally in a while, and it goes wide. Alcaraz is definitely something different about that. Daniil Medvedev, the crowd can sense it as well. They want to get their money's worth for a semi-final Friday ticket. They've already seen a straight sets match. They want to see a little bit more tennis action before they have to descend onto London's nighttime into Soho. And so, yeah, they will be looking for a little bit extra tennis, and it's love 15. Don't be surprised if you see a little bit, one or two of the crowd starting to root for the Russian down the line, down the box. And Alcaraz has gone a bit wayward now. He has found the net with a fairly easy take. Daniil Medvedev, love 30, standing way back way. So far back, there isn't even any, erosion marks on the grass. Is how far back he is. He's pretty much at the scoreboard at the top end of the Wimbledon centre court. Alcaraz serving now. Medvedev thought it was going to go wide. It didn't. It's down back into a rally. We've got and strong ground strokes by Medvedev. He has 3 break back points. His first break of the match so far could be on the cards. He had an early break point in set 2. Didn't take his advantage. Alcaraz broke in the very next game. He's already a breakdown. This is his way back in. These are the moments where Alcaraz has to think of something. Hasn't had a winner in a while, Alcaraz. He's had a couple of net balls, a couple that have gone long. He's under pressure here. He serves down the tee. Block slice return by Medvedev. And the volley is won. Will we see a couple of serve volleys here? Because Medvedev hasn't seemed to get any kind of response onto that one. Don't be surprised. Don't you be surprised, Ghost. So 15-40. Medvedev again going wide. He'd already read it before pretty much Alcaraz had thrown or tossed the ball. Luckily for him, it didn't find its box. So second serve Alcaraz. And he goes wide. It's a double fault. And Daniil Medvedev break serve to take us to 2-3. His first break of the match. And there is life in this tie yet. Will we see a little bit more tennis? Will he Managed to back that up. Well played, Daniil Medvedev. So he is back into this third set. I was about to say final set, but we don't know, do we? This could be the third in a fiver. So yeah, a huge roar. There we go, Ghost. A huge roar as Medvedev beats Alcaraz with a deep smash into the corner, then aces. So they are on board. As I say, tennis fans are fickle. Tennis fans like tennis. They like watching tennis. They want to get their money's worth. They will be wanting Medvedev to. I think ultimately, if it gets to a fifth set, this is how strange tennis crowds can be. They will back Daniil Medvedev between now and the fifth set. And when it comes to the fifth set, they'll all go back to Alcaraz. And so that is how fickle it will be. So you just stay strong to yourself, flying bird, and just stick with whoever you want to win. Don't you change. Yeah, I agree. Matthew pulls up a good point there. Was that a dip in concentration? Probably. As I said, it was getting relatively easy. He was winning most of the points. Matthew says it was a bit of a dip in concentration by Alcaraz. And he doesn't expect anything more to come of it as Medvedev puts his first serve into the net. So he has to consolidate. What use is a break of serve unless you can consolidate it? Drop shot, and Alcaraz shows his pace and gets it. That'll have the crowd back on his side, certainly for that point as well. Medvedev had just dipped one over the net, dinked it over the net, a wee slice drop shot, but Alcaraz was on top of it. He was there in plenty of time, in truth, but the way he controlled the pickup, lovely stuff down the line. Love 15. First serve on point 2, it goes wide. And it's in. So we're on to a rally. I think Medvedev thought that was going long, but it was right at his feet. And a strong forehand. That's what he wants. That's where he wants to be, in the corner of the ad court, so he can unleash that forehand cross court. And that's what he did. He will be there if you allow him to be. Alcaraz, 100 miles an hour was that winner speed. Dazzling, sizzling tennis from Carlos Alcaraz. Love 30. And we're into a rally. Okay, so second serve, good play by Medvedev. It was a +1 that was cross-court backhand into the corner. Alcaraz on the run could only just get his net to it. 15-30, still pressure. As the All About Tennis blog say, finally a loose game from Alcaraz, slight opening. We're back on serve. Can we get a good semi-final match at a major this season? Very good point. I think that the Djokovic-Alcaraz semi-final was becoming a good semi-final. I thought Alcaraz had the edge in the third set. He was smiling, he was joking as Djokovic went to a toilet break. And then it just all went to pot, didn't it, with the cramps? Jack of Talking Tennis would disagree with me, firmly believing that Djokovic just had it all under control. As Medvedev saves the first of 2 break points, he was in control of that rally. In truth, he had pushed Alcaraz all the way back, and only a looped, blocked backhand could find the net with the Russian waiting. He's still got one to face, though. And this could be game over. It's still plenty of time, but you don't envision Alcaraz playing as loose a game as he did 10 minutes ago. We have a point for Alcaraz for 4-2 as backhand return, slice backhand by Alcaraz, pick up forehand by Medvedev, cross-court backhand by Alcaraz. He's trying to work his way to get that forehand in play, but it's now still at the backhand to forehand by Alcaraz. He's got him on the stretch and he's going to go down the line, but he's pushed it long. He had the whole court to choose from. He stares up into the sky. It's the first one I can remember he's missed. He constructed it so well for a grass court. He knew what he was doing. He was 3 shots ahead there, wanting to get it to that exact point in the corner of the ad court. This time he tried to go down the line and he pushed it long. So we're back on to deuce. Medvedev not found many first serves in this game. One of the reasons why we are at deuce, probably. Second serve looked long as well. It's a double fault. It is. And usually this, you'll see Alcaraz taking the initiative now. Yeah, I disagree, Ghost. I think he makes a very good case, but in my opinion, a good serve by Medvedev sees off the third break point of the game. We're back to deuce. I just thought, look, towards the end of the second set, I know that you'll say that, the pressure of playing Djokovic and the work that you put him through in the first two sets just to get the first set. But for me, Alcaraz was striking the ball better. He was winning most of the points. It was just Djokovic being Djokovic that kept that set going for as long as it did. I think was Alcaraz not even serving for it previously before it had to go to 7-5, if I remember correctly. I think he was serving for it at 5-4. So Alcaraz was on top. And, it would have been one of those ones that you would have been going, I cannot believe Alcaraz hasn't won that set if Djokovic had won that in a tiebreak. I think you can tell as well by Djokovic going for a toilet break. That sometimes tells you that he's feeling it and that he's feeling under pressure and he has to go and give himself a wee G up. But, we'll never know. We could be debating this until, 15 years' time. We're never going to find out the answer until they meet again, which could be Sunday, with Alcaraz a break point, a fourth break point, strong serving down the tee by Medvedev. It's a bizarre point. It was almost as if both players had kind of stopped the rally. I want to see that again. So, it was a second serve. Alcaraz, I don't know, had returned it. A drop shot was then played by Medvedev. It was almost like a hesitation to get up to the drop shot by Alcaraz. When he did, he tried some sort of slice wrong footer with the backhand, which Medvedev managed to get a real strange point there. And as you can tell by my absolute butchering of the description, as we're on to a second serve, backhand cross court, Medvedev comes into the net and can't find a volley. Alcaraz, a large roar. He wants this break now. He wants this finished relatively soon. And it's now Alcaraz. Was it fourth break point? Is it fifth break point? I wonder what's going to happen next. Exciting game, this one. Good serve. Let is that? I think that was a let. As we go again, this has been probably one of the longer games of the entire match, just for Medvedev to hold serve. I like that, Ghost. I like that. We're becoming pals, you and I, Ghost. Is it because I'm your ghost writer? Get it? Alcaraz puts away the break with a smash. He jumped on the Medvedev second serve, had control of the point from the off, pushed him all the way back to the court. Blocked backhand return, only went up in the air, and he waited. He could have checked his watch by the time it came down, and he put it away. 4-2 Alcaraz. He is 2 games away from a first Wimbledon final and a meeting with, I don't want to say nemesis because it sounds like I'm trying to create, feistiness. I'm not a stirrer of controversy or trouble, but let's just say his tennis nemesis, his tennis rival, and Novak Djokovic. 4-2. We are an hour and 40 minute long for 2.5 sets. Nearly 3 sets is not bad. Shows you the pace that both are playing at. Good, strong, wide second serve by Alcaraz. Medvedev has got it though. Backhand slice by Alcaraz. Looks as if that's went long. Alcaraz is fairly certain, as am I, that Medvedev has pushed his forehand long. And of course, the BBC just telling us that Alcaraz, of course, number 1, 28 weeks he's been at world number 1. Of course, a showdown for the world number 1 will be had at the final on Sunday, with Alcaraz taking it just at Queen's a couple of weeks ago now. He tried a through the legs volley there. Not that he's showboating or anything. I don't think that was meant in any way of disrespect to Medvedev. It was just the way he was. I think Medvedev had wrong-footed him, and he tried to, tried a wee through the legs volley. Didn't come off, found the net 15-all. Just want to pull up Ghost throwing out the compliments there. Even with my glasses, I'm considered cute, so I'll take that, Ghost. Thank you very much. As Alcaraz, I don't know what happened there. Did that hit his racket and go long? I think, Medvedev's won the point. Shakira. Do you know that's very... I'm not even going to finish that sentence. Well done, Shakira. Of course, I think split from former Barcelona centre-half Gerard Piqué. Many would maybe think he's a little bit daft to have wandered elsewhere, but that's not for me to say, as we're at 15:30 on the Alcaraz serve. Feeling a little bit more pressure over these last service games than he has, certainly since the start of the second set. Many call it a blip, many call it just a loose game from the Spaniard, but he doesn't look as comfortable. A kicker, second serve. He tries to go down the line with a +1, but Medvedev gets it, shows his pace, great backhand. It's almost like a slam dunk backhand by Medvedev. He's used that now 3 or 4 times in the last few games, and it brings him up. It helps him on his way to 2 break points. This is better from Daniil Medvedev. He is taking the game to Carlos Alcaraz, and so far Carlos Alcaraz has taken a little bit of a dip and doesn't have as many answers. Of course, did manage to break, mind you, but he's not had it his own way on his serve. And of course, there's a guy coming up who is better than anyone at returning. Just a little bit of a wake-up call for Carlos Alcaraz right now as he serves 15:40. Medvedev read the wide serve, and he's already on his way, and he returns well. And it is another break of serve, the third break of serve in a row, the second for Daniil Medvedev. Muttering to himself is the 20-year-old Carlos Alcaraz. I can't quite believe we're only an hour and 41 minutes into this match, considering we are nearly time at a third set. But this could be going longer with Daniil Medvedev currently. Changed it up a little bit. He is reading the Carlos serve. Carlos going wide a lot of the times. Medvedev so far back, getting it back into play and forcing Carlos to go long. Shaking his head at the changer over as he has a cookie again, as mentioned before. Strange how both all players under the roof didn't have 5 for serve percentage. What is the first? Yeah, I've noticed that Medvedev's first serve percentage hasn't been great. Let's just have a quick glance at the statage. I usually go to the official Wimbledon stats because, they're official. Where have you guys gone? I have lost you guys on my screen. There you're there. Great players now coming back out the way. 4-3 Carlos Alcaraz. We're just playing a game of return tennis now with the players focusing on winning the return games rather than their service game. 3 breaks in a row. And we have Daniil Medvedev now serving to get back on to level terms in the third set at 4-all. And again, the first serve doesn't find its mark as and the second serve does. Carlos on top of it straight away. Looked as if that was long. It is it? I think Medvedev has challenged it. So as he challenges, we will try and see if we can get some of the stats up. I think Medvedev knows it was long. It was actually wide. God, no wonder I wear glasses. Okay, Medvedev rocks up. Good first serve this time. Out wide. Alcaraz. Block return. Smashed away with a +1 forehand by Daniil Medvedev. For the match, Daniil Medvedev, his first serve percentage is 73%. Oh, no, sorry. That's Alcaraz. Medvedev is 60%. 47 out of 78 serves have found their marker. And that one is another one, 15-0, a second serve coming up. And it's down to 59% because of that. second serve into the body, block return by Alcaraz. He's not looking interested in these returns for me, Alcaraz. He's looking a little bit sheepish, a little bit sluggish. The block return, he was slow in getting back into the neutral of the court, the middle of the court. And I just wonder if there's anything going on. He's shaking his head. Medvedev nets this time. He's been going wide with most of his serves. That first serve percentage will be coming down again. He's quick to load the second serve. Was it a let, the first one? Oh, no, it wasn't. Double fault, a quick double fault, the quickest double fault you'll ever see, about 10 seconds. We're at 30 all. I can't keep up. I'm losing my voice. Jeez, give a break, lads. He hits the net again. This is going to be weight. I don't think he's found a first serve in this game. He finds a second serve, though. Alcaraz plays it to feet. Medvedev goes long. We're now at 30-40. He turns round. He shrugs his shoulders at his box. We're at 30-40. And are we going to see a fourth break of serve in a row? So this time, again, finds the net. It's the third one in the net. 47 out of 80, but I think that'll be 47 out of 81. Down the line by Alcaraz. It's only just caught by Medvedev. It is broken of serve. It is 4 in a row. He will be serving for his first Wimbledon final. And Carlos Alcaraz, he hasn't been able to hold serve over the last 2 attempts. But yeah, that's 4 service breaks in a row. The action just doesn't stop. So Medvedev has to do what he has done the last 2 times Carlos has been serving. He's serving for the match and a place in Sunday's final against Novak Djokovic. Medvedev reads it early, goes wide. This time it does find its marker and it's love 15. That's what he's been doing. He's been reading the serve. I don't know if him moving early has been putting off Carlos Alcaraz at all. But he did so there on that occasion. It's a tactic I've noticed recently. Of course, Daniil Medvedev, very unorthodox, likes to get under the skin. He's way back there. He's almost touching the line judge on the far side. And Alcaraz doesn't find the box with his first serve. So here we go. He's found the second serve. It's a kick serve. He goes with the +1 up the line. Medvedev gets it. Has he gone long? He hasn't. No, we're still rallying backhand to backhand. And this time it does go long. Medvedev will be frustrated with that one. He was well in the rally. He could have built himself back into the point. But Alcaraz wins it, and he has 15 all. He is 3 points away from the final. His first Wimbledon final, his second Grand Slam final, of course. The only other time he had been there was in New York almost a year ago. Medvedev again moves before Alcaraz has even tossed the ball. Medvedev is moving to the wide serve, and I wonder if that's having any impact on the eyesight of Alcaraz as he finds a second serve. This time that we're into a rally. Forehand, Alcaraz, backhand Medvedev, slice backhand Alcaraz, slice backhand Medvedev goes wide, 30-15. Again, Medvedev muttering under his breath, what do I do here? He asks his coaching box, and they just say, you're on your own, pal. You've not listened to us all match, so what we're going to do, you're 2 points away from losing. So yeah, we are at 30-15 to the Spaniard. Sensation, 20 years old, almost close to his second Grand Slam final. As Medvedev though hits back, great return. Alcaraz tries to serve volley. Medvedev read it with his second shot of the rally, and he went down the line. And the 6-foot Carlos Alcaraz couldn't reach it. And we are at 30 all. Much more competitive set than this than the second set. Alcaraz has a wry smile. I think he's smiling at the crowd reaction, maybe. Of course, probably the crowd cheering loudly for that Medvedev winner there. It was his best in a long time as Medvedev goes wide again. Oh, he's got that one all wrong as Alcaraz fist pumps the air. He's got a match point. He has a match point, something he will be craving this time in 2 days' time. He has a match point. These box are praying. Will he reach his second Grand Slam final, his first Wimbledon final? Will he be setting up a match between the world number 1 and the world number 2? The final that we all wanted to see, Carlos Alcaraz serving for a place in Sunday's final. First one goes long. He's got a second chance at it though. Medvedev still hasn't come forward anyway, not an inch. This time finds its box. Medvedev, backhand by Medvedev, sliced backhand by Alcaraz, backhand by Medvedev, forehand, backhand by Alcaraz. This time forehand by Alcaraz, backhand by Medvedev, sliced backhand by Alcaraz. Long point goes up the line by Medvedev. Alcaraz gets it. What a point for match point. Alcaraz gets it again. Volley by Medvedev. And Alcaraz, he got it. What a winner. It's an absolutely brilliant point to win it. It sums up this match. Well played. An embrace at the net as Carlos Alcaraz wins 6-3, 6-3, 6-3 in 1 hour, 49 minutes. A rapid match. El Rapido, as they would say in Spain. And he looks to his box. He screams out, holds up his arms. And Carlos Alcaraz will face Novak Djokovic in a blockbuster Wimbledon final. We will all be watching that one. Well done, Carlitos. Medvedev made a fight for it in the third set, but it was a fairly straightforward win for Carlos Alcaraz. A great point to win it on. Summed up the competitiveness of the match. Medvedev looks a little bit forlorn as he is applauded off the court by both Carlos Alcaraz and the centre court crowd. And Carlos Alcaraz will face Novak Djokovic in the Wimbledon final. I wonder, is that the last time we're 1 and 2 seed since the Nadal Federer? I wonder if they two were 1 and 2 seed in 2019. Of course, no Wimbledon in 2020. And then we had Berrettini and Kyrgios facing Djokovic, so they wouldn't have been 1 or 2 seeds. So I wonder if it's the first 1 and 2 seeds since 2019, John, or would Nadal have been one of those seeds? I don't know. I doubt it. So yeah, I think it may have been it'll be the first 1 and 2 seeds since the Nadal Federer final in 2019, and we all know how that one went. An all-time classic. Carlos Alcaraz, as you can see on your screen, has won 6-3, 6-3, 6-3. And we will be joined very, very shortly by Vanch and Srihari to talk about today's action and get their thoughts on Sunday's final. I can see Vanch. How are we doing, Vanch?
Good, Tom. Nice to meet you. I don't think we've actually done one of these before. So
no, we've exchanged text messages and follows on Twitter, but yes, we haven't actually met, even virtually. So good to talk to you. What's your thoughts straight after that one then? As we wait on Srihari, how did you take that one in? Enjoy it?
I mean, it was quite a in terms of the result itself, it's not shocking that Alcaraz was able to problem solve and find his way past the style of opponent that Medvedev is. But I guess just the fashion that he did it and the way that he was able to display the all court prowess that he has on grass, and just how well he returned in this match. It's just crazy how Medvedev's return position so far behind the baseline. Obviously, Alcaraz has a million different options to exploit that on the next shot. And the times where we did see Medvedev actually adjust, Alcaraz was able to use his power and keep Medvedev stranded behind the baseline there as well. So it was very telling in a sense, because I felt like this match would be closer and maybe Medvedev would get more purchase out of his serve. Maybe he could do some redirection things with his backhand, and tactically maybe he might give himself a little bit more of an opportunity. But the way this match unfolded, it just, even though Medvedev was able to break Alcaraz twice in that third set, it just wasn't enough, and Alcaraz just had all the answers, and it's just amazing to think that these two played each other 2 years ago, and in the second round of Wimbledon, and it was completely
a totally different story. Well, it just shows you that the progression and how far this kid has come along. Did it surprise you then? We had a poll, I don't know if you saw it, that at one point Medvedev was 75 to 25% as the winner for this poll. And a lot of people have been, for me, I mentioned in the last ball drops a couple of nights ago, and to John earlier on, that it's just I've got a feeling as if people have been writing off Carlos Alcaraz on grass, and for me, I think he's got the game and the style for grass. So, as today's result, is that giving you a little bit? Did it surprise you at all?
No, not really. I mean, honestly, when I first watched him play a couple of years ago, I thought that grass would be his best surface.
Yeah, I
just
agree.
because of just because of just how many different ways he can he can hurt you with the variety, and not just that, the explosive movement, and just I feel like first strike tennis is a big premium on grass courts, and he seems to be very comfortable with the slice backhand as well.
Yeah,
and these are all just things that a lot of the field is not very comfortable yet on grass, and you look for all court players, and I just felt like it doesn't matter what surface, he's just going to be winning multiple big titles, and I have no doubt that he's going to win Wimbledon. If not on Sunday, then at least in the near future he'll win more than one Wimbledon title for sure.
Yeah, well, that's funny you say that. That was going to be one of my next questions, because I asked in the comments earlier on, despite what happens on Sunday, and he's playing one of the greatest grass court players of all time, so it might not happen for him on Sunday, but I think what we've seen from Queens and from this run, that we're actually watching a future Wimbledon champion, and probably a future guy who's going to dominate Wimbledon, much like Djokovic and then Federer before him. In terms of and we maybe wait for Strahari, but in terms of the Medvedev was coming back in a little bit, and I felt like he was. I said it a couple of times in commentary. He was guessing that Alcaraz was going to go wide most times, and he was trying to just second guess it, and it was almost getting done before Alcaraz had tossed the ball. I wonder just in terms of serving it wide, I do find that Alcaraz does that quite a lot and doesn't kind of mix it up in terms of going down the tee. He also served and volleyed a lot today. I missed the first set, Banch, so I didn't see how much he'd been serving and volleying in the first set. However, quite early into the second set, I saw that in one game he won it to love, and he'd served all 4 points as a serve volley, even on a second serve, which I didn't think he was going to do. Did you notice that that because obviously Medvedev's or how other players have managed to get in under Medvedev's skin with the serve volley? Did you notice that he'd been doing it a little bit more?
Yeah, I definitely think right from the first game his go-to was serve out wide, find a first ball forehand, whatever that is, on the drop volley, on the volley to the open court, or on the +1 drop shot. So that was always the go-to, especially on the deuce side. I felt like on the ad side, he was mixing his locations a little bit more. We've seen in this tournament, especially when he's down break point, a lot of the times, I think ESPN actually had a graphic, and I think he won, I think 60% of the times he was down break point. Actually, it was 71% of the time. He was down break point, he went body serve. And that usually checks out, because I saw that a lot against Jari and Berrettini, especially, who have huge serves and huge forehands. And that's kind of the thing, is that Medvedev's return, I feel like on Alcaraz's return, Medvedev's serve was getting neutralized very easily, because if Alcaraz is winning the unreturned serves battle on a court like this, then Medvedev is in deep trouble, because he wants to be winning quick points off his serve as much as he can, because I still just don't think on a surface that's not hard court yet, I don't think Medvedev has enough offense right now to particularly bother Carlitos and rush him in a certain way. I think Brad Gilbert was on the commentary. He described Medvedev's backcourt game as eclectic, and that makes sense.
Okay.
It definitely works against a lot of the best players, and just the wall-like defense, and then also just the sneaky ability to be offensive when he needs to be. But Alcaraz just doesn't give you that time, and every single time that Medvedev had anything short, Alcaraz was just all over it. A few of the times he missed badly, actually, quite a lot in the third set. But I think that was just pressure of the finish line. It was more just the scoreboard pressure that Medvedev was putting on him, rather than a tactical error. So
and Damien there obviously mentions a couple of points on Damien's tweet there. First of all, he's talked about truly special performances in the second paragraph there. Would you agree? Would you say that Alcaraz's performance today has been one you would class as truly special?
Yes, I think so. Given the stage, given the moment, given what was on the line, knowing that he's facing Djokovic next, and it's kind of like we've seen this in the past, kind of in the Big Three era, right? Where you had the 2019 Australian Open comes to my mind. When we saw, for example, Nadal just destroy Tsitsipas 2-4-0, and then Djokovic was like, right, You think that was cool, mate? I'm going to show you. And then he destroys
Yeah.
Pui with an even better scoreline. And it's
Yeah.
like, now now it's like, oh, we're set for this blockbuster. It's going to be a 5-set thriller. And,
Yeah.
it doesn't always pan out that way, but
Yeah.
because, it's just a totally different matchup and the
Yeah.
stakes are just entirely different in the final. But it does kind of feel like that
Yeah.
when it comes to these two. And I noticed that at Roland Garros as well. I
And
think
then
that one could have gone even better, could have even been a more breathtaking performance than this had he closed that third set out earlier against Tsitsipas. Because I remember in that one as well, he was up like 5-1, 5-2, and that time he actually really felt the pressure of
yeah.
time.
And then in terms of Daniil Medvedev, I was making the point, of course, he won the US Open 2 years ago now, 2021. He was obviously 2 sets up in Melbourne, the very next slam, and one of the all-time great finals. Where will he be in terms of his game? In terms of, you would have thought that he's won that in 2021 at the US Open and thought, I'm going to add more slams now. I've got that monkey off my back, and I'm now going to start building momentum, and I'm going to be one of the main players on tour. We're now 2 years down the line. He hasn't now for various reasons. Of course, didn't play Wimbledon last year. He's had a very kind of iffy Grand Slam year this year. In terms of Oz early in the French. He's done well at the Masters, so it's been an up and down year for Medvedev. But where does he go now, and where does he think that he is in terms of the game's hierarchy?
Yeah, I think third best player sounds right, just because he did win Miami, he won Rome, he won 3 other titles along the way, and his win-loss record is very good, a healthy 46-9 on the year. And
will he be happy with that though? Of course not.
Yeah, no. I think ultimately he wants to start doing better in the slams. So I think just getting to the semis here was a good result. I think getting out of the Eubanks match as well. In terms of this match in particular, he's really facing an uphill battle.
Yeah.
Much like Stefanos Tsitsipas, much like Zverev, Berrettini, players of that generation, when they come up against Alcaraz, they're realizing that Alcaraz has that aura.
They're the older generation now, aren't they? They're the older generation.
They were supposed to be the one winning slams and winning the biggest titles and challenging Djokovic, but actually this guy has just leapfrogged all of them now. And
I wonder if they maybe start the fight.
That because Alcaraz is so complete, like the 2 best players on hard court, I still say Djokovic, Alcaraz. The 2 best players on a clay court right now without Rafa, Djokovic, Alcaraz. 3 best players on grass, it's the same thing. So I feel like, regardless of surface, we're kind of seeing the same outcomes.
Yeah. Shrahari, how you doing?
Hey Tom, nice to see you. I don't think I've spoken to you before.
No, we haven't. So it's very good to kind of finally put a face to the name.
Likewise.
What about your thoughts then?
Nice to see you, Vanch. I don't think I've done a show with you before, or it's been a long time.
Yeah, it's been a while. I see you're rocking the San Diego shirt. Great to see that.
Yeah. Just never thought of it. But
what's your thoughts on that?
I agree with a lot of what both of you were saying. I mean, Alcaraz, I always thought was better than Medvedev. I mean, this match was just testament to that. Really, it was just a pretty really harsh reality check as to, I would say, the gulf in the talent level or the potential of these 2 players. Really, I should say I'm disappointed because Medvedev could have lost. That's not the issue, but then the nature of the loss always is. You do look at that more than the loss itself sometimes. Straight sets, whatever. But then, he didn't try to do anything different, or he didn't fight, so to speak, until towards the end of the third set, and it was too late, really. And even when he got those gifts back in the form of breaks returned to him, he just never did anything much with that. And that was kind of disappointing. But all in all, just goes to show how amazing this kid is, isn't it?
Yeah. And so let's go on to that then. He's now come through. He's won 6 matches. He's his second Grand Slam final. Now, let's be honest though. Pre-tournament after the French, we had the cramps of the French, of course. I wonder. I made the point in the commentary. Is anyone going to be considering that this could happen again? In terms of nerves, we're at a bigger stage now in terms of a final as opposed to a semi-final. And also coming into this, it felt as if everyone was saying Djokovic is the biggest favourite for Wimbledon that he's been in years. I just thought that a lot of people were maybe being disrespectful to Carlos Alcaraz in terms of already writing off his chances because he hadn't really done anything on grass before. He then wins Queens, and every match he's looked better and better and better throughout Wimbledon. So I want both of you, or one of you, or either of you, to make a case for what Carlos Alcaraz has to do to win this match on Sunday. I mean, Vance, if you want to kick us off, and then I'll come to you, Srihari.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So I mean, people rightfully had Djokovic as the favorite. I think mostly everyone did. Just the golfing experience, the golfing, just big time, especially what we saw at Roland Garros with the nerves getting to him, and just kind of the whole occasion and it being so, the match being so hyped up beforehand. It definitely got to him in a psychosomatic way in terms of the mind dictating. The collapse that we saw at 1-1 in the third set, and Alcaraz not being the same afterwards. I don't expect something like that to happen again in terms of a mental physical collapse due to those kind of issues, particularly not on the grass court, and with the experience with the things Ferrero would have told him after this experience, and then just the Queen's run and all the confidence and everything, like you said.
Yeah.
What does
do you
he
think
have to
he'll
do?
learn from that though? Do you think what happened?
Yeah.
You could turn what happened in Paris in the semi-finals. You could turn that into like a plus, a positive in terms of this is what happened last time. This is what I need to do to avoid that happening again.
Yeah, I think so. I think he was just very, very excited, and adrenaline was pumping through the roof in that match, and obviously it got incredibly physical, and I just don't think he relaxed, and he wasn't enjoying it. And I think that Alcaraz plays his best tennis when he's loose, when he's free, when
he started slow, didn't he? I mean, it was Djokovic from the off in the first set, and I think that just kind of, he was like, because he likes, like you said earlier on, Alcaraz likes to start quickly, he likes to break early, he likes to like be on top and make others chase him, but he was doing the chasing against Novak Djokovic, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was, and Alcaraz was doing a really good. I mean, Djokovic was doing a really good job of using both his backhand down the line and also his sharp forehand cross-court angles with a lot of pace and depth to rush Alcaraz, because Alcaraz has a big wind-up on the forehand, and that's definitely a tactic Novak can use to great effect. Of course, also the serve +1 dominance, and all the tools that he has with his +1 as well. I do think Alcaraz has really been serving smart this tournament in terms of mixing up the body serve, the slice serve. I think he's going to need to have all of that firing as well, including the body serves, where he can really, maybe give Djokovic a different look and go for those 130s, right at his body.
Yeah. And Vance, did I see a tweet from you? I think it was from you. It's saying about the biggest non-story in tennis right now was it yourself who was talking about, the Alcaraz team video and Djokovic, whatnot? Was that yourself? Yeah.
Yes.
So I think it turned out that there was actually nothing. It wasn't even his team, was it? It was a friend of the family or something like that. So,
okay.
But
I just didn't think it was very newsworthy, because I thought that just happened all the time, and we've seen this. It's not like there's no footage of Djokovic available to play tennis.
It might have been the Serbian media, trying to cause a stir. What about Srihari then? Was it yourself, Nick, and you were playing out for this game in the tennis fantasy? Is that right?
Yeah, it was, and I think Nick has won now.
I think
Alcaraz beating Medvedev. It was between me and him, and it was this semi-final that was going to decide who was winning the bracket. And as it turns out, it's Nick. I do admit I went pretty bold on Medvedev making the final, beating Alcaraz, but yeah, well, we all saw what happened, and if anything, what happened at Indian Wells was just accentuated more here, and it felt like the match got over really quickly, considering the nature of the surface. But yeah, I mean, coming back to what Alcaraz, needs to do if he wants to beat Djokovic, the first thing that he would want to do is believe that he can beat Djokovic. We know he can. He does, and like he mentioned in the post-match interview. Second thing is, matchup wise, I'm pretty sure he can take it to Novak. We saw that at RG. We saw that at in their Madrid semifinal a year ago. And you would say that until Alcaraz cramped or whatever happened with him, in the third, at the beginning of the third set, it was a pretty evenly contested match, and I would even argue that Alcaraz had the momentum. Wouldn't you say, Vanch?
Yeah, he definitely had the momentum in terms of winning the second set. Yeah.
And so the thing for him is he would like the fact that, well, he gets another chance. Like, sure, that was the whole weight of the occasion and the matchup got to him, and well, that you're gonna experience that at some point. We know what happened with Novak is I think it was his second semifinal in Wimbledon against Nadal. Something similar happened. He retired after the third set. Probably has to do with the fact that he played a long 5-setter against Baghdadis in the quarterfinal, but still,
Right.
it happens. We've seen Novak also retire mid-match, just between or during these pretty big matches at slams. Just drawing a comparison between 20-year-old Alcaraz and 20-year-old Djokovic. Not to say that Alcaraz is at his level yet, because people do get angry when you make some sort of parallels between Alcaraz
Yeah.
and younger versions of the big three. I just don't get why. But yeah, so I think of all the players right now, I have my reservations about Medvedev, because we know that he matches up excellently against Djokovic. So he also would have been a pretty difficult opponent for Djokovic if he made it. Alas, he didn't. So we won't really talk much about that. But I should say that he is, Alcaraz is one of maybe those 2-3 players who really, Holger Rune, I should throw in as well, who believe they can beat Djokovic. They had the tools to beat Djokovic, and it's only a matter of whether or not they executed, whether they handle their nerves well. I mean, this is Alcaraz's second Grand Slam final. Nerves are going to be there for sure for both players, maybe more so for Alcaraz. Djokovic has that experience behind with him, quite lofty in comparison to Alcaraz. But nonetheless, I do think that this is going to be a very closely contested match. It's going to go down the wire for sure. I don't see any other, unless there are any other pretty unfortunate circumstances or bizarre circumstances like what happened in their previous match.
Well, before we go into predictions, and I will push you both for predictions, just before we finish up. But let's go on to the actual Djokovic-Sinner semi-final. Now, I'll have to admit, I didn't manage to catch much of this. I was at my day job. So I just wanted to gauge your thoughts. I believe Sinner had a couple of set points in set 3. But where was this match won and lost? Sinner, I think we saw a quote Sinner saying that he thought he actually played better this year, believe it or not, or had more of a chance this year than last year, even though he'd won the first 2 sets last year. So yeah, Vanch, where was this one won and lost then?
Well, I think it was interesting because in the first game itself, it was actually Djokovic who was missing a lot of first serves and was a little bit tight in the first game of the match. I mean, still very early doors, but Sinner had a couple of break points and he didn't manage to capitalize on those. And I felt like once Djokovic held in that game, he just loosened up and got a lot more freer, and really started doing a lot of damage when it came to his baseline game in terms of absorbing Sinner's power that the Italian was throwing at him and just redirecting it masterfully. We saw the backhand down the line. We saw the forehand really push Sinner, move him around the court. And Sinner is a good mover in terms of his defense. He can slide well on grass, and he's more dynamic, I would say, than a lot of players out here. But Djokovic did such a good job of forcing a lot of errors from him and making Sinner feel like he has to press extra on several forehands. And so we saw a lot of forehands where Sinner was actually in decent position, but he was shanking them wide, especially cross court. Just because he wasn't able to get the timing right, or he felt like he just had to go a little bit too much for the sideline. And it's actually what happened in the set one of the set points as well in the third set. And then I thought I do want to give Sinner some credit in the third set, because I do feel like he did very well to get out of that love 40 game, especially at 1-1, and then to get those 2 set points. I felt like he was starting to do more damage on his second serve return. Asked some more questions of Djokovic, and just his overwhelming pace and power of both wings was making him stay in this match actually until the tiebreak. And he even had a 2-love lead in the tiebreak itself, but a couple of crucial errors in big moments. Djokovic remaining extremely error-free, playing high margin aggression like he usually does in tiebreaks. I think he's won his last 12 tiebreaks. So I felt like once it went to a tiebreak, I knew that Djokovic is probably going to take this in straight sets. And I think Sinner certainly had the right to believe that he had a good chance this time around. Just given that he'd won the first 2 sets last year against Djokovic. I don't actually think it was a super close match, just because the last 3 sets, once Djokovic kind of found his footing, he won the last 3 sets very relatively comfortably. But I just think it was still margins, I think, in the third set especially. And but I just think Novak just has too much in terms of variety that Sinner is still working on right now. And I like that he's working on it, and I like all the changes that he's doing in terms of adding things to his skill set that need to be added. But I just don't think he was quite ready this time around.
Yeah, I'm sure his day will come. I mean, I think he'll have a say one way or another. Last four at the US Open, of course, so unlucky last year against Carlos Alcaraz in New York.
It was a good effort
Shahari,
to get to the semis because
yeah,
he had an open draw and a lot of seeds fell in his section, and he'd be the first to admit it. But
yeah.
in the past, he might not have capitalized on that. So
Yeah,
I
no,
think
he's had a good tournament, and he should, it's a step forward, step in the right direction for him. Shahari, in terms of Sinner though, his weapons, they were they just not making any impact into Djokovic at all today?
Yeah, well, I think, I mean, I tweeted this, of course. The big points matter so much. Well, Novak may have been a bit shaky. Was it the opening game where he had a couple of break points to break
yeah.
early? Yeah, it was the opening game. And then, of course, those two set points in the third set. I think all of the break points, nearly all of that, I would say 4 or 5. Sinner was just, he was not good enough. He got nervous, he got shaky, and I think all of them ended with him spraying errors. And I think that is where, if I really can't help but think that if he would have converted maybe one of those break points, this could have been a different match, because I think Sinner was still playing well enough. It wasn't a blowout, it was straight sets, but he was playing well enough to make a match out of it if he got one of those break opportunities. Maybe, okay, fine. Let's not talk too much about the first game, but then he had a couple of set points to push it to a fourth set at least. Second serve of Djokovic as well, just didn't do much with it. Obviously, Djokovic doing a pretty good second serve to his credit, but yeah, I did think that he had the weapons to definitely trouble Djokovic. There were like 3 forehand winners. They were 100 miles per hour or faster. The if you watched likes of Wawrinka, even Del Potro, or 10 years ago when he played him in the semi-final, the way he really troubled Djokovic, moved him around, just pummeling the ground strokes, especially the forehand. Sinner could have probably executed something like that, but again, when in the key moments, he just sort of faltered whenever he had the chance. I think there was also a chance to break back in the second set with Djokovic completely off balance and Sinner nets the forehand. That's a regulation shot he makes 9 out of 10 times.
Yeah.
So I think those are the moments that really decided the outcome of the match and why it ended in straight sets. But I definitely thought that Sinner had what it takes to at least push this match to 5 sets like he did last year.
Yeah. Okay. Well, before we go on to a prediction for Sunday, then, couple of things in terms of Sunday. Where do you think, Vance, the crowd will be? Do you think they, just looking at that tweet there by Strahari, and a back and forth from Djokovic, do you think they will be with the 7 times champion, or do you think they'll be mostly with the new kid on the block then?
I certainly think Novak will have his fair share of supporters, the ones who come out and support him, with a lot of passion. But I do think Alcaraz will probably have more of the crowd support. Just given that, I just
because he's Carlos Alcaraz.
Yeah, the crowd loves an underdog. Carlos definitely the underdog, even though the rankings don't say so. Except for that, every other stat points to him being an underdog. Second thing is something interesting is Djokovic is a win away from not only winning for the third time, he's a win away from winning a Grand Slam title and returning to number 1. Mm-hmm. So that tomorrow again is and same with Carlos. He's once again battling for not only a Grand Slam title but also the world number 1 ranking, like he did
with
switched
world number 1 so many times already this year, right? Like
exactly. I mean, it's not really relevant as far as Novak is concerned. Not really relevant. Maybe for if someone is keeping track of Carlos's weeks at number 1, pretty sure it's somewhere in the 40s at this moment, if I'm not mistaken, 30s or 40s.
Actually, I think it's like
28
or
28 weeks.
like that.
Oh, okay, right. Yeah, maybe close to 30s then. But so that is something interesting. But yeah, I think the crowd is definitely going to pull for Alcaraz more. Because I mean, like once you mentioned, I think Djokovic is going to have his fair share of supporters. Since 2021, the reception of Djokovic at Wimbledon Center Court has been better from what I've seen. There are a lot more supporters, maybe 1 or 2. I think Novak just at this point he doesn't care. He's saying if someone's going to disrupt me or someone's going to try to get under my skin, I'm going to make it known to that person. I'm not going to tolerate it. I think he's past that point where
cares.
he wonders what the media is going to think of it, what the headlines are going to be like. I don't think he cares. I mean, he's probably made peace with the fact that there are going to be misleading headlines. There are going to be people sort of criticizing him for it.
Yeah.
But yeah, maybe we may see some moments like that for sure. But it's not going to be one-sided either, the crowd support. But I do think the Alcaraz is going to have a bit more of the pull, just
Yeah.
because he is if there is a disruptor at the moment, it's going to be him.
Okay.
This man hasn't lost a match on that court for more than 10 years now. He hasn't lost there for more than 6 years now.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean,
And who
that
can we
alone-
remember who beat him? Who was the last man to beat him?
it was Burditch in a retirement and on court one, number
And
one
then on
court. in
centre court,
Queensland. Center court was, of course, Andy. In the
I
final.
just had to get Andy Murray in there somehow.
Yeah, of course.
So,
yeah.
what I'll do is, so just before we finish up, then, Vance, you want to give us your prediction then for Sunday, where you think this one will end at about 5-6 o'clock on Sunday evening?
I feel like this is going to be what the Roland Garros semifinal wasn't, and that's we're gonna get an absolute blockbuster. And I feel like we're long overdue in terms of a major final.
Mhm.
The past two haven't been very competitive, and it's been fairly known before the match was going to start who was going to win.
Yeah.
I do feel like with everything Alcaraz has got, and just the growth that he's done mentally in the last 1 month, and just their paths leading up to this point and how their games match up against each other, and the weapons that they have, I do feel like this will go 5 sets.
And who though? Who'll be holding the trophy at the
I'm going to
end?
pick Djokovic to win it in 5 sets.
Djokovic to win it in 5.
Yeah, Djokovic in
So
5.
Harry, you're saying the same? Did you say
Yes, I want to say Djokovic in 5 as well.
Djokovic in 5?
It's
Okay,
been a
right.
long time since Djokovic played. Actually, not that feels like that. It's been more than 2 years, not
Yeah.
a long time since
Yeah.
Novak played a 5-setter at a Slam final. It's been more than a year since he's played a 5-setter. Period. The last player to take into 5 sets being Yannick Sinner himself. Huge Novak fan, of course, but at the same time, it is more fun. It's easy to say this before/after the match. Of course, you want your guy to win it in the most straightforward manner possible when he's playing. Very easy to say it, but it has felt like he's just been sweeping past everybody since I want to say last year. I mean, the last 3 slams that he's
Since
won.
Australia, really? Since the whole stuff in Australia to it last year?
Yeah, I mean, he just dropped that 1 set in Australia. RG as well. Well, he dropped. I want to say a couple of sets. Yeah. Couple of sets, and we know what happened in the Alcaraz match. It was a bummer for tennis fans in general. We didn't want, and nobody wanted a match to end that way. We were all looking for a blockbuster, and Vanch put it perfectly. This is gonna be what the RG semifinal wasn't. We were robbed of a classic, and a month later we have a potential one standing in front of us again. So in the form of a Wimbledon final. So it is gonna be one that, I mean, safe to say that Wimbledon will probably be putting out extended highlights or the full match of this on YouTube.
Better.
I think it's going to be that good.
Brilliant. Well, what a way to finish then. Vance, Harry, it's been an absolute joy and a pleasure to gauge your thoughts on what has been quite a telling day in tennis, and it's set us up for Sunday. Sunday we will have Novak Djokovic and Carlos Alcaraz after Alcaraz beats Medvedev. Oh, my prediction, I'll just go different, and I'll say Alcaraz in 5, just to be a little bit different, because I am a bit different. But anyway, guys, thank you very much for joining us this afternoon, and I'm sure we'll talk again very, very soon. All right, thanks very much, Chief.
Yeah,
thanks
for having us on. Yeah, it's a pleasure
guys.
talking to you, both of you. See you.
Look at one.
If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss out on all things tennis.